Warning, the following is entirely satirical and should not be taken as truth or fact. Styles Rebel Radio and the Rebel Podcast do not own any copyrighted material that may be included in this broadcast. Viewer discretion is advised.
So, more or less, you got the Boogeyman stamp of approval.
Yeah.
Suspend the show right now.
You're gonna zipline directly into the harpoon?
Yeah,
What do you know about planes?
I know a lot about planes.
Buckle in, dude. It's gonna suck.
Put your hand on the screen.
How did they find out? Who was the one?
This show has gotten infinitely more gay.
The mystical land of New Jersey.
I don't understand how the laws in this country work anymore.
Welcome to the Rebel Radio Show, live, uncut, and uncensored on WSRR Radio. We're saving the underground music scene. To my right is Shani.
Hey, everyone.
On the board is Jules.
Howdy.
I'm Radio's Rebel DJ Style, but to the left of me, we have a special guest today. I'm so focused on pronouncing the name right now.
You're mispronouncing everything
that
else.
I'm mispronouncing everything else, yeah.
Everything else being mispronounced.
I'm hitting this drum roll.
You're gonna keep doing it because I got more intro.
Oh, okay.
You may know him from AIW, MCW, or around the independent wrestling scene here in Cleveland or the Ohio area. Kevin Black, a.k.a. Eidolon Black. Did I get it right?
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah. You got it.
Kevin, welcome to the Rebel Radio Show.
Glad to be here.
Anyone listening at home, 216-859-8699, that text line. If you're listening live on WSR Radio, Live 365, or us-radio.com, feel free to hit that text line if any questions or comments you have during the show. But I want to talk about your journey a little bit. You are an independent professional wrestler here in Cleveland, Ohio.
Yes.
You've had some interesting training. You and I have talked off air before about
Yes.
it. And some interesting stories to go over. So tell us about, well, first of all, tell us about the character that you portray and your journey into that character.
Okay, so the character is like legit a mix between like Boogeyman and Bray Wyatt.
I was gonna say, definitely. Okay, I'm a big Boogeyman mark. I fuck with Boogeyman heavy. I walked in here today and I said, "Say his name and he appears." I believe in the Boogeyman. I love the Boogeyman. He's funny.
No, for sure. Like Boogeyman he's an awesome guy too.
Mm-hmm. So between like Bray Wyatt, Boogeyman, because I kind of got that vibe just on the content that you had on your Instagram. I was looking at like the promos and some of your matches and stuff, and it definitely gave that dark demonic type vibe. And the face paint is sick too. I don't know. It matches with the chest tattoo. The whole look is very, and like I don't know. I think it's cool that there's such a big indie wrestling scene in Cleveland, and that like I'm just more curious about like what was starting that journey like what was the beginning of, oh man, I want to, because I like wrestling and I'm assuming you like the product. I'm assuming you grew up liked wrestling too.
Yeah.
What was the transition from like I like wrestling to I want to do that shit? Like I want to
Actually,
I want to be in that shit. So, a professional wrestler is something I've always said I wanted to do growing up.
Mm-hmm.
Then I strayed from it. I was like the prototypical, once I found out it was fake growing up, I was like, oh, fuck this shit.
Yeah, right. Because I feel like everybody has that moment where they're like, they find out it's fake and they're like, all right, well, I guess I'm over that. You know,
fuck this shit, bro. You mean tell me that this shit is real?
Yeah,
fuck.
right.
Like, and then I think it was like maybe my freshman or sophomore year in high school where I like sat back and I thought about it. I was like, all right, cool. So these guys have to stay in shape. They have an insane travel schedule. They have to practice, obviously.
Right.
I was like, that's impressive as shit.
Right.
So then that's why I kind of got back into it just off of that stretch of it. And then that's when I was just like, I think I can do this because I'm relatively athletic. You know, I think I was a 4-sport athlete in high school. Like, you know.
And was it just was it just like, all right, well, let me learn workouts, or was there like a, like, let me look up a wrestling camp or something like, because again, I just don't.
Really, yeah.
Yeah,
so
I don't.
It's very like almost you have to know somebody that knows somebody.
Okay.
Like,
so if you know, and it's kind of
like,
once
at
you're
least
in
to
the
get
fold,
started.
Invite only.
Interesting.
Because it took me a
invite only.
while to even find a school. Because at first I was like, so do you just kind of show up and say, hey, look.
Yeah, right.
I've done this so many times in my basement. Like, I know what the fuck I'm doing.
Right. Just show up to a indie show, be like, no, okay, I'm here. I'm signing up. My name is blah. Yeah.
Like, so then I reached out to Styles might know him, Peyton Vince.
Yeah, good.
Okay.
Yeah. So because I saw him like post something about like being a wrestling announcer. So I'm like, okay, cool. He's an announcer. I have to he has to know something, right?
Right. Shout out Peyton Vince.
Yeah. So I reached out to Peyton Vince. I'm like, yo, bro. And at first he put me in contact with Mega. He's like, yeah, go to Mega this time 3rd. You know, they're cool people. And then like he reached back out to me like not even a week later. He was like, "No, never mind. Don't go to Mega."
Is Mega? I'm assuming Mega is like a gym or something.
They're another wrestling company.
Okay.
Yeah, in
Local
the area.
wrestling.
Actually.
Okay.
Yeah, they're another company / wrestling school in the area.
Right.
He was like, "Yeah, actually, I think you should go to AIW." Then he sent me Dominic Garini's contact information over Facebook, and then I reached out to Dom, and I was like, "Yeah, bro, I'm trying to wrestle." He was like, "Come here on Tuesday." I'm like, "Bet."
Interesting. And so then, do they just kind of like start you on what moves do you know? How do you feel in the ring? Like
they don't let you do moves for a while. Actually,
really?
How long before you get in the ring?
So you get in the ring immediately. But like,
is it more like running around and learning the rope, like literally the ropes and like bouncing off the ropes
positionings and things like that?
Interesting.
So his saying is, Dom like is king for saying things like, I can teach a monkey wrestling moves. Like it's not hard to do wrestling moves, as we all know. I'm pretty sure any boy growing up,
right, did that shit off their couch.
Yeah, like
something,
so,
let me tell you a little story real quick, not to interrupt.
No,
but
you're
Shane almost paralyzed me once for wrestling his children.
Don't worry
And I just want to bring that up. I don't know if I have before.
Don't worry
so,
about it.
you know.
Don't worry about
Continue.
it. So like he says, I can teach a monkey wrestling moves. Like I need to teach you where you need to be at, how to take the move without killing yourself.
Yeah, right.
That would help.
Yeah, etc. So it's like my first day, I didn't do anything but rolls and running the ropes.
Okay.
I think that's all I did my first 2-3 days.
And
all
running the ropes is running the ropes literally running
just
back.
back and forth. Yeah.
How to hit the ropes.
Yeah, how to hit the ropes right in case they snap and so you don't fall out of the ring.
I've never thought about rope snapping.
Yeah,
that's why
it hasn't happened to me yet. I've had a turnbuckle break. No.
Yet being
yeah. It hasn't happened yet.
Keywords yet.
I've been in the ring when a turnbuckle broke. I'm pretty sure I'm the one who broke it.
That's funny.
How do you break the turnbuckle?
They just get old. Like it's nothing you do per se as a wrestler. It's just like you get on the turnbuckle. I thought maybe
you were just getting too hyped over.
No. Like I just started on the turnbuckle. I heard a big ass crack. I'm like, that can't be good.
Now,
I went right to the back. Hey guys, avoid that back corner. I went right to the back. Hey guys, avoid that back corner, dog.
Now you're training and you're in
AIW.
AIW. Sorry, I'm sorry. AIW. That's where you started. And did you get matches there?
Yes, I do have a decent amount of matches there. Now, how many wins I have there is a completely different question.
Well, that's not even what I'm talking about. I'm more so like.
So, like, I think I trained, believe it or not, they told me I was the second fastest debut.
Oh, really?
I think in their school's history, I think they said, I'm not sure if I'm still the second fastest debut. Somebody might have beat me now. But, I was
me. I debuted yesterday, actually.
So. Just showed up like, yeah, put him in the ring. Fuck it. But they prefer you to train for at least a year before they even think about putting you in a match. I think I only trained for like 9.5 months.
Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
And then they were getting like their debut show. They do a yearly debut show. So they were getting their yearly debut show together. And they're just like, Derek Dillinger, actually. Shout out to Derek because he probably is the only reason why I debuted when I debuted.
Okay.
Because Dom didn't think I was quite ready, which meant I would have been stuck in training for another year, give or take.
Sure. And
Derek was like, no, he's ready. Fuck it. Put him in there. Right? So shout out to Derek Dillinger. I'm almost positive he's the only reason why I debuted when I debuted.
Okay, nice.
He pulled for me. Then I had a training match with Chuck Stone. And Chuck Stone put me over like insanely in our training match, and Dom was just like, fuck, okay, he can debut. So yeah.
Then like I'm just trying to visualize it all in my head. I feel like, at least for me, there has to be some moment where you're in training or it's a training match, whatever, and you get hit and it's stiff and you're like, oh, okay, this is like it's fake, but this is real.
Yeah,
you know?
like so obviously the most wrestlers still get offended if you call it fake.
Right.
Most wrestlers.
Right.
So, and I had that moment too, because obviously everybody's going there like, oh yeah, whatever, we're just going to stop. He's going to stop like right here at my face. He's not going to actually hit me.
Yeah,
and then we started going over strikes, and I finally take him. I'm just like, ouch, bitch.
Yeah. That shit hurts. Right.
like,
that shit definitely actually
ouch,
hurts
bitch.
for real.
Like, oh, you take your first chop, and just like, fuck.
That's the thing. Chops probably hurt like crazy.
Yeah, chops is like, especially when they're not correctly placed, and it's crazy because very few people place them correctly, honestly. And in the heat of the moment, obviously throwing live fire hands, it's hard to think about exactly where to lay your hand in on a man's chest. So it's like, it's not intentional. I know it's not, but like if you get caught too high and they catch that bottom part of your neck, that shit sucks.
Throat,
or if they catch you like a fucking tip of the nail to the nip, that shit sucks. Like, bro, yeah, no, literally, like a tip of like. I think that might hurt worse than the throat.
nipple.
Honestly, I'd rather you hit me in my throat, like legit.
That's so I believe that. So then definitely like early days it gets stiff and you're like, okay, this shit's real.
Yeah,
and then now you're just in the circuit pretty much. Now
yeah,
you're
like
working.
so, like during training it sucks because it feels like you're just like it takes forever because like they take their time, and I think it's good that they take their time because if they rush you, then it's like you get out there and you're like you shit the bed. And it's
Right.
like okay, cool,
Yeah,
nobody
okay.
really whatever.
Right.
So it's like I don't think like even like something as simple as a suplex. I don't think I did my first suplex for like maybe 3 months.
Oh, really?
Oh wow.
Yeah, like it was like legit. Now once you like the international, I'm about to say if I don't remember the name, I'm gonna be really shitty. So so they started to teach you in international, even that they break it down. So like day by day, move by move,
Sure.
spot by spot. International is just literally just the super basic shine.
Okay.
So like it's still a whole the fuck is it? Headlock, arm drag, push, take the shoulder tackle, get up, hip toss, then sell into a body slam if I remember correctly.
Okay.
So
just your basic string together.
yeah, that's your basic string together shine. I'm assuming everybody knows what a shine is.
Sure.
If they don't, for those at home or wherever you're watching, it's the beginning of the match where the babyface get all their cool shit in. So they teach you that eventually, and that's when like everybody starts to get excited, like, oh shit, we're fucking wrestling. Like
Right.
this is what I
Yeah.
actually came here to fucking do. Like fuck.
This is the first cool thing. That
Yeah,
we're-
like, oh, should I get a body slam a bitch? Like, man.
Yeah, right.
Like, so then that's where, like, it starts to pick up. And then once that breaks through, then that's when he starts to break off into, like, all right, cool. Like, he sees who can and can't do it and who can and can't keep up.
Mhm.
Then it's like, all right, bet, I see you're kind of well advanced in this. You know, you didn't really need too much guidance. We can
Right.
put you in our accelerated class or whatever. And then that's where it really takes off. That's where you learn moves. You you learn your comeback. And then you can, like, create your own shine and
Sure.
things of that nature.
Interesting.
Then that's when it gets really exciting. That's when you like have training matches. Like I have a butt fucking training matches
Yeah,
of me just
right.
at the gym in the beat up ass ring,
Right.
Yeah.
just wrestling with whoever was there. Then eventually, like I said, once it gets to a point where they feel like you can debut, they normally pull you to the side, like, "Hey, yo, we think you're ready. So you need to come up with a character, a move set,
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
bring it to us.
Give me your pitch,
Yeah.
essentially. Right.
We'll tell you if it's shit or not."
Right.
Interesting. And so it can be a situation of like you have good training and like you know what you're doing, but the character just isn't developed or whatever yet. Like
Yeah.
interesting.
And I've seen that actually. Like, so my original character, they liked the name actually. When I pitched the name, they loved the name. My original character actually was Hendrix Hawkins. And like they loved the name. They're like, "Oh, that's a great name." Blase,
Yeah.
blase, blase, blase. And then like the original character was literally just me with a different name. Like
Uh-huh.
I thought that was because I didn't know I was debuting
Right,
actually.
sure.
Like I was just like I heard the debut class was coming up, but I didn't hear my name around to like the last second. They're like, "No, Kevin, your debut." I'm just like, "Fuck."
As who?
Yeah. So then I was like, "All right, bro." Like, but I'm like, "Fuck it, I'll just be me." Like,
Sure, yeah.
Like I feel like that's the easiest gimmick to be is your fucking self.
Right,
So I'm like,
right.
"All right, cool. I'll just change my name. Fuck it."
Right.
So I went home, brainstormed the name, came back the next day, like, "Hey, yo, this is my name." They're like, "That's fucking sweet." So now I'm like, "All right, bet, cool." So then, literally, Hendrix Hawkins' backstory was literally like, couldn't wrestle because of a heart condition. I literally have a heart condition.
Okay.
So like, literally, it was like my
Yeah,
legit
right.
story. So
Yeah.
it was
Right.
very easy for me to portray.
Yeah.
His issue was he had no fucking substance. He was like Shelton Benjamin. Like,
Okay.
Shelton Benjamin is like,
Fantastic
yeah,
wrestler. but
fantastic
it's
wrestler.
just Shelton Benjamin.
Yeah, like legit. You can't really send him on a real push or put him by himself
Right.
for too long because it's like after we get over his cool ass moves, it's like
What am I
What's
getting
there?
into?
What's,
Yeah,
what,
yeah.
What other meat is on the bone?
Until the
Right.
gold standard came out.
they-
of
oh
course.
yeah, hey, listen. When he painted his hair, that was some good shit.
I'm a gold standard mark all the way.
And I think I was at training one day, and shout out to Jocelyn, cool ass person, Jocelyn Navarro, another independent wrestler. She was asking me about my character, and she was the first person to tell me. She was like, what is the purpose of your character?" I'm like,
Sure.
"Oh, I'm an athletic black guy," and that was my literal remark. And then she was like, "I'm going to shit on you real quick." So I'm just like, "All right, bet." Like she was like, every major company in the world already has an
Has
athletic black guy.
yeah.
Like,
Mm.
so respectfully, you might be athletic, but you're not gonna be more athletic than like the Ricochets of the world
Sure.
and like the rich ones of the world.
Sure.
And like, so it's just like, all right, cool, you're fucking right. Like when I sat back and I thought about it, I'm like, yeah, I can't do a fucking 450. Ricochet can. I've seen that nigga flip out of the fucking ring and land on his feet. Like, yeah, no, I can't do that shit.
That's a tough pill to swallow. That's good insight, but that's a tough pill to swallow. But then it makes you like really reach into your bag, I guess.
Yeah.
Like it makes you really get creative of like, all right, well then shit, what do I do?
What the fuck do I do? And that's
Yeah.
literally where it was at. And this was like after I debuted and everything. So I'm just like, fuck.
So now, you're at the point of you're looking for a new character because you're told that we have you already. We already have one of
basically,
you
yeah,
everywhere.
like you're everywhere. Like
we got to run to a quick break. I want to pick up from there and get back. 216-859-8699, that number to text in. Of course, we're sponsored by Synergy Music Studio. Can't forget to remember that out of Chicago, Illinois. SynergyMusicStudio.com to get your album or single mixed, mastered, produced today.
What's the difference between the shirt you're currently wearing and the one that I am? Well, both do their job of concealing us from the outside world and social boundaries. But one little black swoosh makes yours cost nearly double. That red rectangle may not change how warm you are, but it certainly changes the price tag. The truth is, nobody cares about the details. Get to the point with GenericClothes.com. Have a laugh at the big brand clothing company's expense with shirts that simply say sports team, political statement, music band, and more. A shirt for any occasion and the perfect gift. GenericClothes.com.
Hi, this is Melissa,
And hey, it's Matt.
coming at you from Synergy Music Studio.
We are a recording and production studio located on the south side near Chicago.
Check us out online at synergymusicstudio.com. We offer recording, mixing, and mastering.
And follow us on Instagram at Synergy Music Studio. Rock hard.
This is Preston Harden, creator of True Vault Escapades, a show combining my love for the Fallout games and old-time radio of days gone by. If you're looking for a classic detective show set in the retro-futuristic post-apocalyptic wasteland, this is definitely for you. You can find us on any podcatcher like Apple or Spotify, and hear it exclusively here on WSRR Radio every weeknight at 10 p.m. Tune in today and prepare for the future.
Whoever's the owner of the gray sedan, you left the Rebel radio show playing.
Hey, welcome back to the Rebel Radio Show, live, uncut, and uncensored, brought to you by GenericClothes.com. Kevin, you ever been out to the store and wanted to get the new Nike, I don't know, new Nikes, new Nike shirts, new Nike pants, even Adidas, and just look at the price tag and go, that's not happening today?
normally every time I go to pick up anything.
And that's the problem with clothing today, right? It's all like $80 for a t-shirt for no reason.
Right.
Right? And just a little swoosh. GenericClothes.com solves that problem. You can go to GenericClothes.com right now. Get a shirt that says shirt, get a shirt that says sports team, political statement. You know it. GenericClothes.com has left the big brand's clothing company's expense. Nobody cares about the details. Get to the point with GenericClothes.com. We're joined by Eidolon Black. Right?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
You're so good.
Hell yeah.
Every time.
I'm gonna check every time, yeah.
That was good, right?
Because I have terrible, when I read something, I have terrible verbalizing it in my head. But we jumped into this very hectically. So if you're joining us, so welcome back to the show. But we were running around a little bit getting cameras all fixed for the YouTube simulcast. So that's all put away now.
Thanks for staying.
Yeah, thanks for sticking around. A little backstory, because I didn't get into this when we started. We actually, you, me, and Shane all went to the same high school.
Yes.
So that is, I guess, the initial connection, right?
That's a through line.
Not that we,
Yeah,
not that we really associate or anything.
I was a little older than you guys, so
Right.
it wasn't.
Yeah.
Right,
But
but
we
was
rode the
just
same
the-
bus
that was
home,
just-
though, if I recall.
was
That
that?
was just the
I think we
wind.
rode the same bus home,
I think
though,
we
if
did.
recall.
Yeah,
I think.
That
I
was
believe
just,
so.
You know, I have CTE nowadays, so
That's from smacking your hand to the turnbuckle till
Yeah.
it breaks.
Yeah.
So that's the real reason.
absolutely, yeah. Completely my fault. I do it willingly.
But we also went to the same broadcasting school,
Yes, we did.
and I guess that's kind of more where we actually began to have
have a more of a like, hey, I know
Yeah.
that guy kind of sort of.
right.
Hey, guy, I know kind of sort of.
That means we're fellow alumni too.
That's true.
I just
That is
didn't
true.
know you there.
But now we're here on WSRR Radio, so a little bit of backstory. And speaking of that, I want to talk real quick before we get into developing gimmick, essentially.
Yeah.
You mentioned that the gimmick initially for your first run character was that you had a heart condition. You were an athletic guy with a heart condition, was essentially the character
Yeah.
based off something you do have. And if you don't mind, I'd like to talk about that a little bit. And, not to get too personal, if you don't want to, you can obviously, say whatever you want here. But that step of becoming a wrestler with this condition, what have you had to overcome? I have a very minor heart condition personally. It's nothing that's really prevented me of costochondritis. It's just inflamed cartilage, like around my chest area, lungs.
Yeah.
Sometimes it flares up. It's pressure. It's hard to breathe. And it sucks because there's nothing they can do about it. And that's with a lot of heart stuff. So, I'd like to know more about that if you'd expound upon it.
Cool beans. So, I was actually born with a subcubic membrane connected to my aorta valve, which was causing it to leak blood.
Oh, wow.
So, in non-super doctory terms, I was born with this little piece of thing connected to a part of my heart, which was causing it to leak blood.
Little drainage tube.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great little
drainage tube that wasn't connected to anything.
Yeah,
accidentally.
little random piece of shit that just wanted to be there.
You just had a little extra.
Yeah, a little extra.
A little
extra
love.
A little extra
love.
If they didn't go in to remove it, I actually would eventually drown in my own blood.
Wow.
From the inside out. So like in my head, part of me was like, damn, that's kind of scary. And then other part of me was
terrifying.
Like, yeah, but you see, I guess I'm fucked up because other part of me was like, that doesn't mean like I would have had the little scene with the nose, like blood coming out my nose and mouth and shit. Like I was like, damn, like I hate to say, I would love to like be on the outside looking in at that. Like, damn, that's what I look like right now. Like that's fucking
just
sweet.
the constant thought.
Yeah,
of
like
one day you would just start dripping out.
yeah, like that's fucking sweet. Like
it's kind of metal.
yeah, like
But you lived. We're livers here at WSRR. We're livers.
we are livers.
We're livers.
So they had to go in and remove it. Oh no, first they actually just removed like all the excess blood that was dripping out.
Yeah.
Like, and that was like when I was like legit before I even turned 1. So super young.
Okay.
And then they went in when I was 5 and actually removed the membrane that was not supposed to be there.
Okay, the part. Okay.
Yeah. And then it decided to grow back. Yeah, so I had a second open heart surgery in high school actually my sophomore or junior year, one of those damn years.
Yeah.
I had a second open heart surgery, which actually ended my football career.
I was gonna say that's because you said you were a four sport athlete.
Yeah, I played.
Yeah, and I remember like you ran track.
Yeah,
at the very least, I remember you ran track because I ran track too. So.
Track, cross country, basketball, football.
Okay.
So,
wow.
Yeah. So at first my thing was okay, cool. Like I can do anything anybody else could do. Fuck.
Yeah.
And if I die in the ring or on the football field or wherever the hell I decide to fucking croak at least it was my decision.
That's pretty metal.
So that was my first thought process because I was pursuing a football career at first.
Yeah.
And then like it got to a point where it was like every football program I reached out to was just like, yeah, bro, like
that's a liability.
Yeah, literally the exact word. It was like, yeah, you're just a liability, bro. Like
that's crazy.
If you drop dead on the football field and we know even if you pass a medical, it's
right.
like it's just so many allegations and legal shit that we just long story
it's not gonna look good on us.
Yeah, we just don't want that on our hands, respectfully. So I'm just like, thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Right.
Nah, fuck me then.
Yeah, you know, and I just wasn't. I played basketball, but as you guys know, at Heights, you don't have to try out.
No.
You just go show
you
up.
were just there. You sign up and you're on. Yeah, that's how
you could
it
be
was.
5'2", 300 pounds.
Yeah, it doesn't fucking matter.
Yeah.
You're starting.
Yeah, right.
You're our power forward. What do you mean, dude?
Literally. So it was like, I played basketball, and I wasn't the worst basketball player, but I wasn't going anywhere far with it. And it was like, all right, cool. Like, I know that. Like, I know basketball is not going to take me anywhere.
Right.
Sure.
Like, so there's no point in me saying, well, I'll just play basketball. And then I just didn't like track that much. It was crazy because track was probably my best sport looking back at it. I was like, probably should have paid a little more attention to track. I probably at least could have got a free education out of it. But you know,
at least you got good cardio out of it.
Yeah, I did get cardio. Like hindsight's 20/20, so we're fine. We're fine.
Now, did any of like the promotions have any issue with that, or like
they don't even ask me?
Really?
They
okay,
don't give a fuck.
that's good.
No.
Well, I guess I mean that's
yeah. I have to turn in an initial. I had to turn in an initial like fuck did I just call it?
Like a medical clearance form or something like that?
Just for my training purposes.
Okay.
Once I turned in that one form, they didn't give a fuck. They were like, all right, cool, bet.
Sick.
Go kill yourself.
Sick.
Badass.
Badass.
Basically saying the company's not liable.
Yeah. Like,
okay.
And then you sign a whole bunch of waivers when you sign up.
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like,
interesting.
you know what you're getting yourself into.
Is it something that still affects you? Okay.
Good answer. Good answer.
It'll just show up if it shows up, essentially.
Yeah,
okay,
like,
gotcha.
So logically, the responsible thing for me to do is once a year go to a heart cardiologist and then
get a checkup. Make sure
they put all this gel on my chest and give me a what do you call those things?
Ultrasound.
Ha! I knew the girl would know.
Hey man, we're kidney stone survivors over
That's
here.
true.
We've had ultrasounds.
Yeah,
At least I have.
So they give you the ultrasound, and then whatever. I've
Yeah.
had one a couple years ago, but I don't go as frequently as I should. For me,
But
it's
you
like-
have gone. You have gone. That's like the point.
I went
right?
once.
Yeah,
Yeah, I went
once.
exactly. I
you know.
think
Yeah, I've
it
been
might
to
have
the
been-
doctor.
Like, it might have been a pandemic year last time.
Okay.
I went. Like, it might have been a pandemic year. Who fucking knows?
Yeah,
Like,
you know.
who knows at this point?
Right.
But,
They looked at your chest like, "Yep, it's COVID."
yeah.
What can we do?
Yeah, basically, like, yeah, bro, like, fuck. So, but yeah, no. To my knowledge, they claim I shouldn't need any more open heart surgeries. That's what they claim.
That's good.
And then the last time they went, last time I went, they said everything was still cool. They were like, yeah, your heart's kind of enlarged, but we don't know if that's because of which your shit
Of that
or
or,
because you're just a person who does a lot of athletic
Right.
shit, because most athletes also have enlarged hearts.
Right.
So they're like, we don't really know why you have an enlarged heart. But
Good luck.
yeah, basically, like, kind of sort of, like, but
Clear
you
bill
seem
of health.
fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, you seem fine. Everything
Yeah.
else seems okay. Like, so
Here's your bill. Hit the bricks.
you got it, dude. Like, go
Yeah.
ahead, go kill
Yeah.
it. I was like, all right, bet. Break a leg. I
Interesting.
got you.
So
Interesting.
you asked about if that's something like companies will look for or promotions will look for when they hire you to wrestle. I feel like in talking to a lot of the people who listen to the show, we actually this started as a wrestling show years and years and years ago. So a lot of our listeners are familiar with the product, are wrestling fans. We talk about it pretty frequently still.
Mhm.
But there are a lot of people that have reached out that aren't necessarily fans of the product, or they're just getting into it and they have questions and
Right.
they'll ask questions about it. And now a lot of people seem to associate pro wrestling with like a baseball or a football, where it's a league and you have to get into the league and there's fees and there's teams and there's and it's a weird conversation to have with people. Like, no, it's not really like a corporate sponsorship thing.
Yeah.
It's a whole different beast, right?
Yeah.
How does the process go from your perspective of going to a different promotion? Is it just, hey, I want to wrestle, here's my wrestling resume? Like, how does that go?
Sometimes it's that simple, and
Okay.
sometimes it's like way harder.
Okay.
So like for smaller companies who just love people to have on their roster and
Sure.
they're happy for you to be there, you just kind of send them a message on however Facebook,
Sure.
Instagram, however you get in contact with them. It says, hey, I wrestle. This is who trained me. Can
Wanna
I
book
come
me?
up? Yeah, can I show up? Hell yeah, send me a promo picture and some matches.
Okay.
Bet. And then sometimes, like, say if I wanted to go wrestle for fucking GCW, no, they're going to require
Right.
a lot more out of me. They're going to be like, yeah, no, fuck you, bro. Like,
But so what is it different promotion to promotion? But like, what do those more like higher scale promotions want out of you? Is it something where it's like, come to our training camp for 6 weeks and then you have to take these classes or something like that? Or
it depends
like,
on the promotion. So, like, say just like just use GCW. GCW,
Sure.
for an example, they've already told us GCW, the easiest way to get booked is literally just keep showing up to their shows and help with ring crew.
Okay.
Eventually, they're gonna ask you, "Hey, do you fucking wrestle, guy?" And you're like, "Yeah, I
Interesting.
wrestle. Like, here's my social media platform. I've been waiting for you to talk to me, bro."
Interesting.
Like,
I've
yes,
been here 3 years.
yeah, like, literally,
I've been your
like,
ring guy for 3 fucking years.
Like, I've been building your fucking ring for you for the last decade. And you're just not looking at me.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, I only got one match left in me, but damn it, I'm taking it.
Yeah.
And then there's other shows like shit. Obviously, AIW is bigger in Ohio.
Sure.
They're a company where they prefer you to go through their training.
Right, their school.
Yeah. But most guys, you reach out, most promoters at least respond to you. Most of them do.
Oh, you give me the look again already?
I am.
All right, well, I guess we'll pick this up when we come back from break. Not to be rude, but 216-859-8699, when we come back, we'll actually dive into the character conversation.
If LimeWire taught us anything, your digital music is free and open to piracy, and even manipulation when it comes to digital distribution. So why settle for a bunch of ones and zeros floating around on the internet? Make your release something special with Hellbender Vinyl. Hellbender is one of America's most trusted custom vinyl record pressing plants and works with local artists to get their next release pressed exactly to their liking. So check out Pittsburgh's first and only custom vinyl pressing plant today by visiting hellbendervinyl.com to get started. And don't forget, all customers at Hellbender Vinyl get 5 free test presses at no additional charge. Hellbent on quality, hellbent on service, hellbendervinyl.com.
This is the Pidge from the Pigeonhole WSRR. You're finally getting a new promo from me. You've heard the same one over and over and over and over again, so you're welcome. What you're going to do is go to the Styles Rebel Radio Discord page, and you're going to submit anything that you find into the Pigeonhole section. Any tweet, any post, anything that you find, any of your opinions. I'll read anything at this point that you send me, and that's not a joke. I'm surprised the show hasn't been banned and canceled yet because of some of the things that I've said, so it's a fun time. Submit your stuff.
Hey, I'm Lucas Durazio.
And I'm Dom Farrow.
And we're the hosts of WSRR's new Cleveland sports talk show from Pittsburgh.
So, of course, we got to talk a little Steelers, but we're also going to be talking about your Cleveland Browns.
Talking about that rivalry, those hard-hitting matchups, the AFC North. Me and Dom might do some hard-hitting because we get physical and fight each other on the air.
Tune in to find that 10 a.m. for new episodes on Mondays, WSR Radio.
Behind Enemy Lines is the name of the show, by the way. We forgot to say it. Behind Enemy Lines, Mondays at 10 a.m. for new episodes on WSRR Radio. That's the promo. Cut it there.
Are you ready, kids? It's me, distinctively non-copyright, unspecified Sponge Man, and you're listening to the Rebel Radio Show on WSRR. Make the switch.
Yeah. Hey, welcome back to the Rebel Radio Show. Of course, we're going to bitch about broadcasting during the break. But now that we are back, I want to talk to you about Hellbender Vinyl real quick. They're
the real
Pittsburgh's
industry standard.
What's that? Us? Yeah.
Yeah.
216-859-8699. The industry standard.
Was that us?
Well, let's talk about Hellbender Vinyl real quick. They're PA's most trusted and first and only custom vinyl record pressing plant. They're one of America's most trusted vinyl record pressing plants. So if you want to make your next album release more than just a bunch of ones and zeros floating around on the internet somewhere, we all know LimeWire taught us that your music is very easily accessible and very easily to grab and modify and mislabel. Avoid that with hellbendervinyl.com. Get your custom vinyl record pressings today.
Vinyl record.
I know, I do it every time in my head.
Custom vinyl record pressing plant, custom vinyl record pressing plant, custom vinyl record pressing plant.
Custom vinyl record pressing plant, custom vinyl record. Yep.
That's hellbendervinyl.com. They're hellbent on quality, hellbent on service. Hellbendervinyl.com, a proud supporter of WSRR and independent radio, independent music. Today we're talking about independent wrestling because our guest, Eidolon Black. I'm not going to ask this time because I know I did it right.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, it was.
Love the confidence.
But let's get actually into the character of Eidolon Black because we said we were last segment and we didn't. So, how did it come about?
So,
being not just athletic black guy.
Yeah, so athletic black guy. You know, every company has at least 3 of them.
Sure.
So, the fuck would they hire you for? So I'm like, all right, cool. Thanks, appreciate that. So I started just, like, oh fuck, what am I gonna do, guys? Like, fuck. So I came up with these.
Gotta workshop a character. Gotta go in to create
legit.
a character.
So I did what any other kid would do. Well, I'm not a kid, but any other grown man who wants to be a kid would do.
Everyone watching wrestling's just a kid.
Yeah. I tell everybody, man, we don't. Hey, if you just grow old, we don't grow up.
Right.
We just grow old. But so I did what anybody else would do in that situation. I went to my goddamn room. I sat on my gaming chair. I cut that PS5 on, and I went to WWE 2K24, and I'm just like, we're going to figure some shit out today. I went to the creative wrestler shit. And I was just fucking with, maybe legit 3 or 4 days just fucking around. Like, I came up with a luchador one. I came up with like 3 or 4 different possibilities. And then, so I take that, and all right, cool. So I got these ideas. So then I started looking at actual wrestlers, and I'm just like, what do I want to be known for?
Right,
So,
cross-referencing essentially.
Yeah, I was like, so what do I like? Whenever I'm done wrestling, regardless of how far I go, what the hell do I want to be known for? So I just started thinking of like random fucking wrestlers. And then when I got to like the spooky end of the wrestlers,
Sure.
the Boogeymans, I guess you can slide Umaga's in there,
Sure.
the Undertakers of the world, all those people, the Bray Wyatts. I'm like, okay, cool. All these people didn't need to build. Now, if they got to build at some point in time, that's whatever. Obviously, Taker has his runs.
Yeah.
I think Umaga maybe has a couple.
He has an IC.
Yeah, I think he has an IC run.
Maybe a tag? No world title, but maybe a tag with Rated RKO? Probably not.
I don't know.
I know IC for a fact.
Yeah,
I feel like they would have put
Yeah,
some
I
kind
know
of strap on
him and
Umaga.
Santino was doing the feud over
That's
the IC
right,
title,
yep.
so I know he definitely has IC title
IC,
in there.
yep.
Obviously Bray has some.
Yep.
And then I got to the Boogeyman. I'm just like, did he ever win a fucking title? So then I'm sitting there and I'm just like, he's been wrestling for fucking decades. He has a title. So then I go do my research.
Yeah.
I'm researching. I cannot find not one Boogeyman title run. So then I'm like, that's fucking insane. Like, Boogeyman is a Hall of Fame level. I don't think he's in there yet, but
No.
he's a Hall of
He
Fame
will
caliber.
be.
He
Oh,
will
yeah.
be. Like, he's already on a WWE Hall of Fame contract.
I was going to say,
So-
he's always on the Legends deal. He's backstage shit.
Yeah, he's on a Hall of Fame Legends contract. So I'm like, cool. This character, like that he created, got to the point where it's like, when we think of the Boogeyman, especially if you especially if you grew up watching wrestling,
Yeah.
like you don't think of some random ass cinematic person. You think of the Boogeyman that's eat worms.
Yeah, right.
That's what, like, whenever anybody says, "Oh, the Boogeyman," me think black man face paint eating worms.
Right.
Yeah.
Like, so now I'm just like, okay, cool. Kevin's not eating worms.
Real quick, it's such a disconnect when like a normal person says the Boogeyman and they're like, yeah, that creepy guy under the bed, right? I'm like, oh, not the worm guy.
Not the worm.
No.
I was thinking of a clock. And, all right, sorry, my bad.
My bad, bro. Like,
The normal person's definition of the Boogeyman
Yeah.
and then a wrestling fan
Yeah.
version of the
That's how you know.
Boogeyman.
That's how you find a wrestling fan. Just
Yeah.
talk about the Boogeyman around somewhere.
yeah.
bring up the Boogeyman, see what they say. Like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Boogeyman, worms, gotcha. Yes,
Yeah.
you are my people. Like,
Yeah.
this is my audience.
Right.
So I was like, fuck, that's crazy. So then I did a deeper dive into Boogeyman's
Yeah.
character. So I'm just like, okay, cool. Like I said, Kevin's not eating worms.
That's not happening.
Yeah, it's not happening because they're real worms. Like,
Right.
Like, it's verified. I've literally hung out with the Boogeyman and he was like, yeah, I need some night crawlers. I'm like, oh, you really eat them bitches.
Is it specifically night crawlers every
Yeah.
time? That's crazy.
I like, yeah, like as soon as he gets in my car from the airport, he's like, I need some night crawlers.
That's his
I'm like,
brand.
the fuck, bro? Like, you said, like it was a pack of Newports, dog. Like, what the fuck? Like, shit. But so I'm like, all right, cool. So we're gonna center this new character around the Boogeyman.
Yeah.
And, or, you know, an inspiration for the
Boogeyman-esque,
Boogeyman.
yeah.
And pull characters from him. So then that's when it was like, okay, cool. I don't want to be token Boogeyman Jr. though.
Sure.
I was like, because then that I'm just gonna be pigeonholed.
Because then you're going to be the guy
Right.
who's playing Doink on the indie show.
Literally.
It's just clown makeup.
Right.
Yeah, literally. So I'm like, all right, cool. So it's okay for people to see me be like, oh, he for sure was inspired by Boogeyman.
Sure.
But I need to make some clear differences between me and Boogeyman to the point where it's like, okay, cool, he's still his own.
Right.
That's sick.
Shit.
That's sick that you came to that of
Yeah.
like I don't want to just be Boogeyman Jr. I gotta be able to also stand like have my shtick, do my thing,
Yeah.
but also still stand out from even that
Even-
because that's something that like you really got to dive into. Like I don't know the character creator mode inside
Yeah.
yourself of like how am I gonna do this shit? That's just cool to me.
Legit. So obviously I'm like, all right, cool. So Boogeyman and all this shit happened before I met Boogeyman. I met Boogeyman like shortly after the character was developed
Yeah.
and started. And then that helped my character a lot too. But all this is like pre-meeting Boogeyman talk. So it's like, all right, cool. So like I'm assuming Boogeyman just woke up one day and just said, I'm gonna be the fucking Boogeyman because that works for me and I don't have any teeth anyway,
Right.
so fuck it. So in my head, that's how he became the Boogeyman. I couldn't find anything online
Yeah.
about how he came to the idea
Which
of being this Boogeyman.
I'm sure you're familiar with it because you've met the guy personally.
Yeah.
You know him. You've obviously researched him a lot. Have you ever seen Boogeyman's early like face paint?
Mm-mm.
It's terrifying, man.
Yeah,
it's just like straight black.
Yeah,
like a
like-
few little red dots, maybe,
Interesting,
maybe some yellow in
interesting.
there. But like the OVW early Boogeyman,
no yellow on there. It's like just
Yeah.
black and red, maybe
Yeah.
a couple dots of
Interesting.
white.
It's like demonic.
Yeah, like it's very like yo,
Yeah.
I don't want this guy. Like even if you see him like early on SmackDown, it's like
Yeah.
yo, what the fuck?
It's closer to what your face paint is.
Yeah,
more or less.
legit.
Yeah.
So I'm like, all right, cool. So I'm like, bet I have a premise. Now we need a backstory. I'm like, oh, cool. So I was like, so since Boogeyman is just this fictional character, so to speak, it's like, oh, cool. I don't want to be a fictional character. I want to be a person
based in reality.
Yeah, that became this way through turns of events.
Sure.
So then it was like, all right, cool. Now I have to actually.
That's early Boogeyman right there.
Oh, that's early as shit. Yeah, that's where he even started painting his whole face, bro.
Yeah, that's like prototype Boogeyman.
Like that man, he told me it takes him roughly 3 to 5 hours for each face paint job. I'm like, that's
wild.
insane.
Yeah,
dog.
that's so wild.
I'm like, nigga, I get tired of sitting there for 45 minutes painting my face, dog. And I'm like, fuck. Like,
is that how long you normally have to? Is that like
give or take about 45 to an hour?
Interesting.
How many times do you have to redo it? Do you ever mess up and it's like, oh shit?
It was only one time where I messed up and I had to start all over. It was only one time. Most of my fuckers I can fix relatively quickly.
Yeah, okay.
So then I started getting to my like deep dive, like, okay, cool. How did whoever I originally was turn into this Eidolon character?
Yeah.
So now I'm like, all right, cool. So then I'm like watching TV shows and shit. So I'm just like, fuck it. We're gonna like bite off the Green Arrow.
Yeah.
So not comic book, but like TV show Green Arrow.
Okay, yeah.
So I'm like, TV show Green Arrow, for those who watch obviously know, it's a cool shipwrecked island. Went through whatever the fuck he went through to get back to his states, whatever. So I'm like, all right, cool, I bet. Like I was selling seeds for whatever stupid ass reason.
Yeah.
Shipwrecked. I was stuck on the island. In order to survive, I had to become this variation of a person or this like.
Oh, that is scary. That's scary as hell. Early book.
I just saw Shane searching for it up there. He couldn't find it.
So I had to like dehumanize myself in order to survive on an island with nothing but fucking animals.
Sure.
So that was the long story short backstory.
That's the origin.
Yeah, like so it's all right, cool. Then by the time I got to the States, basically. Then by the time I got to the States, my beef is like, okay, cool. None of you bitches came looking for me. So,
motherfuckers came
like all y'all just assumed I was fucking dead and I was alive eating squirrels and shit. So that's like the premise of the character. That's where it comes from. That's the backstory. And then that's why I don't talk a lot, like in ring. Like in ring, like if anybody's ever seen a match or clips of me, like I'm not one of those vocally punch.
You're not out there to cut a promo.
Right. Like, and that's why I fucking hate some promoters, because they're like, cut a promo, like saying fucking what, bro?
Have you seen the character?
Yeah, like fuck am I going to say? Like,
do you get the bit?
Like fuck am I going to say, guy? Like, what do you want me to say? You want me to stare at your camera like a weirdo for fucking 5 minutes? Got you.
That's what you should do next time. Just sit there silently. That's
what I do now. Whenever time to cut a promo, I just stand there and laugh, like for like 30 seconds, and I walk away.
Like, that was creepy. That's what you wanted, right?
Yeah, right. There you go, bro. Like,
well, I was gonna mention it. I was watching on your Instagram. I feel like you have a decent, like the couple promos that I saw on there were not bad.
Yeah, no, they're not bad. Like I'm decent because
you
you see, I'm decent at cutting promos, and that's what like a lot of people thought the character change was for. They was like, oh, this character doesn't have to talk. You must not be good at talking. I'm like, no, I can talk if I just had to. Like, you can throw a mic in my hands and I can cut you a decent promo and I'll be all right. The character change was because first and foremost on the indies, you see your okay, cool. He clearly wants to be Ricochet. Okay, cool. Sure. He clearly wants to be Roman Reigns or John Cena or whoever the fuck.
That's this promotion's Kurt Angle.
Yeah, like you have all those guys scattered. You don't see not one motherfucker saying, "Oh, that's fucking Boogeyman right there." Like you don't see not one of those. So it's like now when a promoter comes to me and he says, "What can you bring to my show?"
Yeah.
You don't have anybody that does this.
Something
shit,
you don't have.
Yeah, like something you do not have, bro. Like at that point. First and foremost, I can fucking suck at wrestling now. Like when you see my character, just like I don't
character
care.
Work alone.
Yeah,
like,
the angle.
It's like I don't care what you can do in the ring, bro. You can get in there and just fucking do a fucking somersault. I don't give a fuck.
Right.
Like you don't have to be good at wrestling anymore. So it's like cool. Now I have a character that's like. Even if I happen to suck at wrestling, which I don't think I suck at wrestling, but even if it was,
I've seen you. You're good.
Yeah, like
I was gonna say, I feel like the work that I've seen, at least again on the Instagram, that's good.
Yeah, like so it's like I'm decent. Like obviously everybody has room to grow, but I'm decent enough to pass in the ring. But now it's like I have something that even if I wasn't decent, or even if you feel like, oh, I've seen better wrestlers, cool. But does your better wrestler do this?
Mm-hmm. And I will say, because again, I have gone out and seen, not in this current character, your previous one, but I have seen you on the independent scene. This is a conversation that we've had before, is you go to indie shows, you will see a lot of guys that don't belong in a ring.
That at all. Like regardless if it's cosmetics, regardless if it's like, oh, he just fucking sucks.
And you can tell when someone's a big guy and they go, yep, put him in the ring because he's big.
Yeah.
Okay, but he's not doing anything.
He doesn't have a moveset. He doesn't have anything to bring to the table.
Yeah.
But like I told you, I went and saw, and I'd never seen you wrestle. I didn't even know you were going to be on the show.
Yeah.
And you could pass it off as if I was going to an NXT or going to a TNA
Appreciate
and
that,
seeing
'cause
someone in the ring. Because you put together a match, you knew what you were doing, and you looked like you knew what you were doing in the ring.
Yeah,
and that's
it's like, and some guys, thank you, I appreciate that.
But
and
add some applause in post.
Yeah, like and like some guys you see that, or like some guys, and like it happened to me early on where it's like something doesn't go as planned in
Sure.
the back, and it's like, oh fuck, like or you're dealing with somebody. I think that's the make of a really good wrestler. It's like when you look at guys like, for example, my personal favorite wrestlers right now, I only have two, is Randy Orton and Dolph Ziggler. I love Ziggler because you can put him in the ring with fucking anybody, and he's gonna make them look like, he's gonna make them look like they're the best wrestler you've ever fucking seen.
Yeah,
it's like, and that's why like WWE never gave him like a significant push. It's like
because he's too good at making everyone else look
like
strong.
you're too good at selling for me to put a title on you. I'm sorry.
So someone said this to me the other day. My buddy, not to cut you off, my buddy told me this the other day. We were talking about, positions people should be in the company right now. Of course, fantasy book. Yeah. And I'm like, dude, Ludwig Kaiser. I don't know why he's not the guy. Like,
you
dude's
love
got the look.
Kaiser.
Dude's got the look.
He said the same thing. He said the same thing in the last promo.
I'm a big Ludwig Kaiser guy.
You're a Kaiser guy.
And my
Like,
buddy goes, yeah, I agree. He's gonna be the next Dolph Ziggler. Though I'm like, don't you say that.
He might.
Don't you tell me that.
He might, especially if he can fuck around and bump. I haven't watched enough of him to see him bump, but if he can fuck around and bump close to Ziggler, yeah, he's gonna be the next Ziggler.
But yeah, no, that's something that's great, but also could be a detriment.
Because your opponents love it, because it's like, bro, like you make me look great. Like, fuck, I'll wrestle you every week. Fuck it.
You want to be the guy on the demo tape that they're wrestling.
Yeah, like, but then if you're that guy that bumps well, it's like, damn. It's like
they're gonna keep you down. They're gonna keep you getting bumped.
Yeah, and then you run into those fuckers that don't like taking bumps. I fucking hate those. Like,
to use an inside term, you're a good hand at that point.
Yeah,
you're just a good hand.
Yeah, like I fucking hate those guys. Like normally it's big guys that don't like the bump. Normally it's like a big guy. Like it's only happened to me once where I actually was in the match and the dude was like, "I'm not bumping." I'm like,
yeah.
The fuck you are. Like, yeah, it's only happened to me once, but it was still when I was in a tag team.
Okay.
A dude named PB Smooth. Now,
I know who you're talking about.
Clarification: PB's a great guy. Like I love PB Smooth.
Mm-hmm.
Great guy, but he is a fucking mammoth of a man too. By the way, he's like
as a big man.
Yeah, like he's like a solid 6'8".
Okay.
Yeah, like
huge.
Yeah,
Huge
like
guy.
he's a mammoth of a man. So, and he likes to protect his size. He likes to protect his character, and he's very like paranoid about that shit.
Right.
So, and he's actually a decent wrestler as well. Like
he's not bad.
Yeah,
he's entertaining.
He can fucking work. So like this is not me shitting on him in no shape, form, or fashion. I actually love PB, but he just doesn't like the bump, or if he doesn't feel like you can bump him in a real fight, he won't let you bump him. So like if he was wrestling like a guy his size, he would take a bump. Like
right.
You know, no problem. But my 5'10" ass walked into him like, yeah, bro, can I spear you?
Yeah,
he was like, no. I was like, fuck.
He said, can you?
Yeah, like
you can try. Yeah, right.
So like, and it was a tag team match, and you know, for me, even now, like wrestling needs to make sense for me.
Yeah.
Like even I've point blank told promoters I won't lose a match like that. Like they walked in he's beating you. How is he supposed to beat me?
Yeah, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it doesn't make. Do you see him?
Good. That's good
like,
that you have like that standard.
Yeah, like and promoters get pissed by it, but it's like at the end of the day, if they like understand where you're coming from, as long as you come from it in a respectful manner, like I'll tell them like I'll lose the match, but he's not pinning me. Like
we got a couple minutes left here in the first segment, and I definitely want to get to your meeting Boogeyman. Because I know he's a big inspiration for you, obviously.
That's crazy.
So
how'd it happen?
This is like after I switched characters, and I was just like trying to get AIW to give me a chance because they knew I switched characters. They knew the character, but they weren't fully behind it yet, and they still really fucking aren't. for clarification. So I'm just like. Keep telling like, yo, I've been working really hard at this character. I've been talking to him. I've been talking to her. Like, yo, like I really just give me a chance. Like, throw me a fucking bone. Give me a dark match. Give me anything. So then out of nowhere, they fucking shovel out like 8 posters a fucking day about fucking shows 20 years down the future. It's like, bro, why are we talking about this already?
Yeah,
but
we got X-Pac in 2027 coming.
Literally, we'll be there. Like, so then, obviously I follow him and shit. So, I'm scrolling down social media and it's called Boogie Nights. I'm like, Boogie Nights. Then I saw like the Boogeyman on there. I'm like, there's no fucking way. So the way it works is the students are responsible for damn near everything. So if somebody's like anybody's flying in, unless the wrestler says he'd rather drive himself, a student is going to pick him up. So Boogeyman, and I think the only wrestler that does that is like Cardona. He has not gotten in anybody's car. But the Boogeyman's coming in town, so like, okay, cool. Boogeyman needs a ride. I was like, yeah, I'll be there. Like, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
And then like somebody else, I guess, already volunteered. So it was like me and him arguing in the chat. Like, no, bitch, I am kidding. I was like, no, bitch, you don't understand. I need to pick up the Boogeyman. Like,
I am picking him up now. You
yes.
don't understand.
Yeah, like,
I'm already there.
Like, I do not care. I will shoot you. Like, I'm picking him up.
I'm already here. Don't worry about it.
So eventually he's like, fuck it, I gotta work anyway. I was like, what the fuck were you arguing with me about, bro?
Right.
So he lets me get Boogeyman. I pick up Boogeyman. He's super cool dude from the word go. Comes in, shakes my hand, whatever. And we're just driving to his hotel first night. So first night he's just kind of getting the feel for me, seeing like, whatever. So
Who is this guy?
Yeah, like, and I tell him like, I'm coming up with this character that, I based off of you. I'm not gonna lie. I can really use some guidance on it this time and third. So he's like, cool, let me see some pictures. Hand him my phone. He's like, oh, this isn't bad. I'm like,
hell yeah. That's the hell
I was like,
yeah.
So I was like, all right, bro. So, he's like, yeah, what's the backstory? So I tell him the backstory. I let him read the backstory because I had it in my notes on my phone and shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I just let him read the backstory. He was like, cool, you have something going here, bro. And like, he gave me some pointers. I'm not gonna say I agree with them all, but he gave me some pointers, and obviously he's been wrestling in WWE for years, so clearly he knows way more what the fuck I'm talking about.
Right.
So and then one of the questions I had to ask him, because I guess one of the biggest issue with wrestlers in general is with people who wear face paint, they don't like it that it rubs off.
Sure.
They're like, okay, cool, you're fucking up my gear. Or
we have one canvas, don't fuck it up.
Yeah, literally. Like, so that's the main beef with face paint. Now, obviously, as anybody who's seen Boogeyman wrestle knows, his shit doesn't come off.
Yeah.
So I was looking for it before I met him. Like, I was typing up like what type of face paint Boogeyman uses. I could not find it to save my fucking life. So then that's when I just asked him like, "Yo, Boogeyman, you have to tell me like,
what's the sauce?
Yeah, like what do you use, bro?"
Yeah.
He was like, "What do you mean? What do I use?" I was like, "Bro, what's your what face paint do you use?" He was like, "Oh, I use latex face paint." And then like the light bulb just went off in my head. I'm like, "You're a fucking idiot, Kevin! Like, why would you not think of that?"
And he was just like, "Here it is."
Yeah, like literally, like he has plugged me. Like, yeah, and of course it's not fucking cheap.
I expected him to say I rubbed the
worms. That's a special blend I make. It's real herbal.
It's real herbal.
Worms, dirt, mix it up.
So yeah, though. So like he gave me like I said, it's not cheap paint at all, unfortunately. But
so more or less, you got the Boogeyman stamp of approval.
Yeah. Like I literally have his number and everything.
That's so awesome.
Yeah, like, I have his number and everything. He was like, yeah, call me whenever. Like I've talked to him since. Like
yeah.
I was like going through a rut where it's like, yo, like I'm at a like
sure.
Yeah. I need something. Like I text him and he has called me. He was like, yeah, man, just do this down and third. Blah, 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 blah. He's gave me like examples for like shit I should sell.
Yeah.
Right.
Like, like
different ideas.
So what you're saying is, maybe we get the Boogeyman on the show at some point.
He's very strong about his money, so it depends on what. It depends on what you guys' payrolls looking like.
Well, speaking of that, I guess we have to pay the bills. 216-859-8699. That number to text in. Kevin, thank you for joining us today on the show. Of course, give a shout out where you can follow you.
Everything is literally Eidolon _Black on every single platform. I know nobody knows how to spell it, so it's EIDOLON _Black, like the color. Again, that's EIDOLON _Black.
It just all works congruently.
Yeah.
Some would say it has synergy. I would say you can go to synergymusicstudio.com if you're looking for your next track recorded, mixed, or mastered, or produced. Synergy Music Studio even helps you if you're not in the Chicago area. You can take advantage of their reamping service. Send in your old tracks, get them mixed, mastered, reamped exactly how you want them to sound. Again, that's synergymusicstudio.com. And once you've got that track mixed, mastered, and produced, go to hellbendervinyl.com. Get it pressed on something special. Custom vinyl record pressings, one of the most trusted in America. That's hellbendervinyl.com. And of course, you're gonna want to present this album in style. No, not inside of me. That's a little weird. But you can go to genericclothes.com and stick it to the big brand clothing companies. Have a laugh at their expense with shirts that just say shirt, football teams, sports, clothing brand. Genericclothes.com has them all. Of course, all of those and more at WSRRradio.com. We're live at 5 every Monday right here on WSRR Radio, along with shows like Shaney's Off Air.
That is the truth.
You can get the Pigeonhole as well at 4 p.m. The morning drive starts at 8 a.m. Eastern. And of course, True Vault Escapades. That's the Fallout-based radio drama at 10 p.m. Eastern all weekday nights from Preston Hardin. For more showtime, schedules, events, and more, of course, WSRRradio.com is the place to go. Thank you once again, Kevin, for coming on the show today.
Yeah, thank you, Kevin. This was awesome.
Until
Really
next
cool to have you
time,
here.
I've been Radio's Rebel DJ Style. To my right, Shani.
Bye, everyone.
And on the board is Jules.
Bye.
Peace.
Peace.
Feel the candle